Hello, I'm Jennifer Witt. Nothing gives me worse of a headache than a bad meeting. We've all been there. We've all seen the scenarios. You've got that one who's always going to speak up to derail your meeting. You've been in those meetings where no one knows, why am I here? What am I doing here? And why is that person here? We've all seen all different scenarios. Even interviewing CEOs of some of the top companies, one of the biggest complaints is poor meetings. People not knowing why they're there and leaving without knowing why was I here and what's to be done next. So I've got 4 tips that are 4 key elements to running a meeting that a project manager can use that's simple. Remember, simplicity helps to go a long way. So for those of you who like methodology, consider this the PCFW method of running your meeting. So what does that stand for? Prepare, communicate, facilitate, and by all means, wrap it up. So let's talk about each of the 4 key elements. So number 1, in preparation, there's purpose. Preparing for the purpose of the meeting. Why are you having this meeting? Who needs to be there? Why do they need to be there? What do they need to prepare beforehand? What do you as the project manager need to prepare beforehand? So purpose. People, again, knowing who's supposed to be there, why are they there? Are they decision makers? Are they there to provide input? Why do you need them there? And then props. How are you going to facilitate and run your meeting? Do you need props? Do you need a laptop? Do you need a LCD projector? Do you need flip charts? Do you need boards, markers? Do you need pens and paper? What do you need for people to use and for you to facilitate the meeting? Have you ever shown up at a site and you didn't have the materials you needed or thought were supposed to be there? Well, you as a project manager can prepare for that. Second key element, communicate. It's communicating to people beforehand, inviting them to the meeting, the agenda, letting them know when they're supposed to be there, why they're supposed to be there, and 5 minutes beforehand. Let people know in advance so they know they can prepare on their schedule, being mindful again that other people have schedules too, so letting people know in advance so they can beforehand prepare, get together what they need to show up, and maybe ask any questions, maybe contact you or other members on the team before. So let them know what's on the agenda. What are we going to be talking about? They may want to invite some other key people as well and give you an opportunity to say, yeah, that's great, but we don't really want them to be there in this meeting. Action items. Making sure people have completed action items maybe before a previous meeting, preparing for and completing action items they were supposed to do prior. So before they show up to the meeting, make sure that the previous action items have been completed or at least know the status. Facilitating the meeting. So we've all seen that one where the thing gets out of control. It's supposed to be maybe a 20-minute status meeting or a 30-minute status meeting or a short call or stand-up meeting that turns into a 2-hour brawl. So we don't want that. We want to make sure everything's on time and on topic. So on time is making sure that we really stick to the timeline of the meeting. So if you have different items on the agenda, knowing how long you're going to spend on that, and actually you as the project manager facilitating that you stay within that time. So that way people will stay engaged with you, you won't lose credibility, and people will know when to expect to leave the meeting. And on topic. So staying on topic to the agenda. There are people who have other agendas who will try to take over and hijack your meeting, maybe for their own purposes. So you have to facilitate that and stay on topic and let them know, well, if someone brings up a topic that's not on your agenda, well, it may be important, but it may not be within the purpose of that meeting. So it's important to put that on a parking lot and at the end let people know, what are we going to do with this item? And I love this one, hold that thought. Because a lot of times people will maybe raise their hand or bring up a question on something that you're going to cover later in the meeting. So just politely say, I appreciate that, hold that thought. We're going to talk about that later. Then that way, that gives the person the comfort level to know, okay, that item's going to be handled in this meeting, but at least they'll know it's going to be handled later, and you can stay on time and on topic. And last but not least, wrap up. So we've all been in those meetings where they've gone too long, so everyone's just in a hurry to get out of there. So everyone leaves not knowing exactly what to do or what the next steps are. So the important item in this step is to Wrap up with action items and next steps. So action items, what items are to be left done at the end? Who's supposed to do it? When are they supposed to complete it? And then knowing next steps, letting people know when you will be meeting again or what decisions will have to be made. So these are the 4 key elements of the PCFW method and how to run your meetings more effectively. So maybe you won't leave with a headache and your team members won't either.